doing undergraduate research with a faculty mentor? Okay, how many of you would like to do undergraduate research with a faculty mentor? Okay, so let me tell you the process for starting undergraduate research. It's a little confusing because it's a course that will fit into your degree plan, but it's individually worked out between the faculty member and you, the student. And if you've had a lot of different faculty at Texas State, it might be a little easier to decide who you would like to do research with, but that's not the case for everybody, especially people that transfer. They might not be as familiar with the faculty and what research they're doing. The advice that I give to students who want to do research is to find 3 or 4 faculty who are doing research that you think sounds interesting. And the way you can find out what they're doing is to go to the departmental webpage and look at the faculty research interests. I have a few slides that we can scroll through later if you'd like to see some examples. And Dr. Weber's she already has a presentation posted on Canvas that has some slides that would show you some different research interests. But after you've identified 3 or 4 faculty that you're interested in working with, then I tell students to email those faculty with some background information about yourself, what you would like to do if you know, and whether or not they have time to meet with you about opportunities in their lab. So I can help you, Dr. Weber can help you craft an email if you would like help to do that. And then when you send the email out, I usually tell students, wait a week if you don't get a response, and if you don't, just send it again, because things get lost, and faculty don't mind being reminded. I have to be reminded multiple times often to do things, so yeah.
Also, if they don't respond, just sometimes popping your head in might help, just to put a face to your email, and they're more likely to respond to your email if they could put a face to your name. I don't know if you like it, but sometimes when they pop in, I like it versus emails.
I do too, actually. I like being back in person.
Mm-hmm.
That's my own preference. It's harder to do things on Zoom, especially to get a sense of what the faculty member's doing. But they're busy, just like you all are. And those of you that are working with mentors probably had to knock on doors like a couple of times at least, right? Usually when I'm asking students what their favorite part of lab is, I tell them to think about like Gen Chem lab, organic lab, biology labs if you've taken them, any kind of upper level lab. And in the teaching lab, you're not doing necessarily research in the sense that most of the labs have a defined endpoint, right? So you're not necessarily discovering something new, but what you're working on, if you really enjoy it, is probably a pretty good indication of what you might like to do in a research lab in terms of the type of experiments. So if you like working with instruments or tinkering with instruments, that kind of helps you know, you don't get a whole lot of chance to do that in teaching lab, but if you wish you could, that might be something you wanted to do in research lab. Or if you really like some of the biology experiments you've done, maybe you might want a lab that does a more molecular biology than chemistry. So it's just kind of something to keep in mind. For those of you that want to go to professional school, research experience is helpful on your resume. So it's not just for people who want to go to grad school. But it's also the case that you can get research experience without officially signing up for a $42.99 course. You still have to have permission from the faculty mentor to work in your lab. And you typically have to go through, well, not typically, you always have to go through all the same safety training that somebody who's taking the official course would have to do. So if you want any help crafting emails or introducing yourself to faculty members, Dr. Weber and I are happy to help you with that. Any questions about that process? One of the things that's different from, well, Dr. Martin started this last year where there's an instructor approval now required to sign up for $42.99. So any of you to sign up for $42.99, even if you've already worked with your mentor, have to fill out the student registration assistance form with written approval from your mentor to sign up for the class. And the office staff, Ms. Ellie Martinez, she'll do the override for you, or I'll do it, or Dr. Weber, whichever one of us gets to it first. So I put the link there for the student registration assistance form, but also Dr. Weber put that on the Canvas site.
Yeah, I've been trying to update the Canvas site as we go. So a lot of these resources that you can find in here, go to the Canvas site, click on resources, and I put all of the forms as a quick link from that module to make your lives a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So let me know if a form doesn't work, but I try to make it all localized for y'all.
One of the things that I'd like to mention for those of you who will still be here next year is that we do have a new opportunity that will be available fall of 2023, where students will not only be able to do undergraduate research, but be able to take a course for an internship as well. And that internship opportunity is not something that has been available for credit in the past. Sorry. For those of you that are graduating. Yeah. But it is something that we're excited about, and if you're going to still be here, that could be something you might want to.
Is that the USAR stuff?
Is that,
The
yeah.
USAR stuff?
It could be with different companies. So they're developing different opportunities right now, and it might not just be one or another, but a lot of different possible. It's going to be called cooperative education. So it's not undergraduate research, but it's still experience, especially if you want to get a job when you graduate. So
It's a great foot in the door.
yeah. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know, other questions about research? I mean, I could tell you what different faculty are doing for research, but I'd also like to answer your registration questions too. So if you all don't have like questions to share with the group, I'm perfectly happy to meet with you one-on-one in this time and help you solve registration problems. But then I'm going to take it off the overhead so that it's a little more private.